Starting your own business might feel like an impossible task. You might think you don't have what it takes, you might think that you're not super entrepreneurial, or maybe you just know the stats that 9 out of 10 startups fail over the long haul. But what I've actually learned over the years of building my own multi-million-dollar business and working with over 500 people on starting their own business, that business actually boils down to a very few simple step-by-steps. No matter the business model, steps are always the same. And as long as you complete and go through these steps in the right way, in the right order, it actually is way easier than you could ever imagine. So if you are someone who is just looking to build their first business or their own business to escape their 9 to 5 or whatever, achieve the freedom that you really just crave in your life, like time, location, financial freedom, or maybe you're already running a business but it's just not going as you imagine, listen up. And something that is just overall super important to understand is when people talk about how hard and complex and risky starting a business is, they usually talk about starting like a big technology startup. A lot of people who are not super business savvy or don't really understand much about business, usually they're in their mind starting a business means starting the next Apple, starting the next Uber, starting the next Microsoft, whatever. And obviously these ventures are really risky, like the percentage of these tech startups that actually make it or the money that you need to invest in it, etc. Like they are hard and complex to make work, 100%. But the thing is that for most people, like their goal isn't to become a billionaire. Because of course if you want to become a billionaire or make hundreds of millions of dollars, then probably your only sensible bet is to go and try to start the next Apple or try to start the next Facebook, whatever. But for most people, what they are really looking for from starting their own business is more money, so making 5, 10, 15,000 a month, and more time and more freedom, so they can spend the time with their family or friends or doing whatever they want, or just location freedom, traveling, etc. They want to work on their own schedule, live really comfortably, and be free. And if that is your goal as well, then you don't need to go out there and start a huge business. Like a business that makes, let's say, $20,000 a month, it is a micro business. Like compared to all the business in the world, it is extremely small. So for you to actually get to the point where you run a business like that, it's not that hard and it's not that risky. So now you obviously might wonder, okay, if I'm not gonna be starting the next Apple or next Facebook, what am I gonna be starting? And of course, there are millions of different business variations and models, etc. But in my opinion, the best way to get to the point where you're making great money, let's say 10,000 a month, and you have a location and time freedom, and you actually just run your own great, predictable, high profit business that is actually sustainable and doesn't require crazy amounts of investments, is to start a service-based business. And the reason for this is simple. When you run a service-based business, in my opinion, the best way to start out in business is you don't really need any money up front. You don't really take huge risk. It is not that complex to start, and it also builds you a really valuable skill set. So for example, how does a service-based business operate? Let's say you go out there and you learn a high value skill, a skill that is in demand and people are willing to pay for. In a second, we're gonna go over what these skills are. But for example, let's say you learn a marketing skill. You learn how to do websites. That's your thing. You spend a few months learning how to do websites. Then you go and you find companies that want a new website. They don't have the skill to do it themselves, and you sell your time for those companies. So for example, you could tell them, hey John, I know you really need a new website bad. I will make you a new website. I have the skill, I have the time, and it will cost you $2,000. And this way, really the only investment and only risk that you're taking in the business is the time that you invest to learn the skill. Other than that, you don't really need anything else. And then the next level, when you scale to, let's say, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, if you even want to build a business as big as that, then the next level to scale from that is pretty much going from selling your own time to selling other people's time. So then you hire another person who knows how to do websites, for example, and then you sell their time to the websites. So you sell a website project for $3,000, you pay your employee $1,000, and then you get $2,000 profit from selling the website. So super simple. So there are obviously like a million different services that you can learn, like crazy amount. The really only key that you need to take into consideration is that the skill that you learn and go out and sell is in demand and it's actually valuable. Because obviously you could learn how to knit really well, or you could learn how to wash clothes really well, but there's really no opportunity, at least to my knowledge, to sell a clothes washing service for $5,000 or $3,000. There might be, but in most cases not. And then you need to go out and get hundreds and thousands of customers to actually make a living. We really only want to sell something that we can sell for thousands of dollars at a time. For example, a website can easily be sold for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. There are companies that sell websites for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So then you only need a few clients a month or a few clients a year to get to your income goal. So what kind of services can actually be sold for these amounts of money, like higher amounts? And usually they go back to either they're really expensive or time consuming to learn, there's a lot of demand, or they produce revenue, they make money for other companies. In my opinion, the best sector to go into and the best skill to learn is something that is marketing related, because marketing is usually used to make more money. So if you become really good at advertising or outreach or websites, whatever, those are all things that make your clients more money. So you can ask for more money as well. Other things are, for example, software development, so learning how to code or build different software platforms, or sales. For example, offering sales services. Hey, I will go out there and I will find you new clients through the phone, or I will close your clients, whatever it might be. Of course, there's a bunch of other things that can be really valuable and in high demand, but at least from my past years of experience and everything that I've just seen, these are really the three best sectors to go for: marketing, software, and sales. And for example, the skill that I picked myself was marketing, and not just marketing overall, because it's obviously a pretty big industry, but more specifically B2B lead generation. So pretty much what I do is I go out there and I help companies that sell their services or products to other companies, and I help them find new clients through emails or phone calls or ads. It's really simple. So let's say you run a website to design business and you want to sell more websites. So what I do is I go and I find you people who are looking for more websites so you can get more sales without spending that much time. It's pretty much called running a B2B lead generation agency. And if you're interested in seeing how to run a B2B lead generation agency, you can go and you can check out the first link in the description. We have a free mini course to show you how you can set up and learn the model in 24 hours. It's completely free. It's super good stuff. I use that exact same stuff to go from $0 to $40,000 a month with my own B2B lead generation agency. So if you have any difficulty in picking what you should do, just go check out the link. And that's pretty much the step number 1 from the 7-step process that we're gonna be going through. So 7-step, extremely fucking simple steps for you to actually get to starting your own business, making service-based, and also getting to your first clients and actually starting to make money. Because also, like, depending on your job and depending on your living situation, of course, if you have a big family and a big mortgage and all of these fucking things, of course, going full-time in your business is gonna be harder because your expenses are bigger. But let's say right now you're at a job and you're making $3,000 or euros or pounds or whatever shekels a month. Really, the only thing you need is like 1 to 2 clients for your service-based business to go full-time on it. And then when you go full-time, you suddenly get the freedom, you get the location and time freedom, and then also you get more time to keep building the business. So getting to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month isn't actually that far away from this starting state. Step 2 is really fucking obvious, but it is learning the basics of that skill. So obviously, for you to sell your time and sell this skill to other companies, you have to have some kind of a basic understanding how the skill works. A lot of people overcomplicate this and they think that they need to become absolute experts in the skill that they want to deliver. But usually the 80-20 rule applies here. So if you know the Pareto 80-20% principle, whatever, is 20% of the things gets you 80% of the results. And this is actually it applies everywhere in the world, and it applies here as well. You only really need to learn the 20% basics of the skill to deliver 80% of the results with the skill, you know? So you don't need to be a master website designer to actually sell websites, or you don't need to be a master at B2B lead generation to actually help companies out and actually earn money from doing so. So either, depending on what skill you pick, if you pick something outside of B2B lead generation, just go to YouTube, buy a course, talk to someone who knows about it, or if you pick B2B lead generation, then you can literally just go to the free thing and you'll learn the basics, like everything that you pretty much need. Step 3 is also super fucking simple as everything here, and it is deciding who you sell to. So a big mistake that a lot of beginners do when they get into business, and I see a lot of other people doing this as well, is trying to sell to everyone, selling to everyone. Yeah, we do everything for everyone. But pretty much if you try to sell to everyone, you're selling to no one because it doesn't resonate with anyone. It's not specific to one profile. A great example of this is if there is a personal trainer, a gym personal trainer, and he just sells to everyone. Yeah, I help people get in shape, everyone. You're gonna see that and you're gonna think, okay, that's pretty cool. He would maybe pay like 20, 30 bucks an hour for his personal training, whatever, or her personal training. But let's say that you are a 25-year-old guy, you live in Canada, and you are a skateboarder and you're really skinny and you want to be more muscular. If you see an ad from a personal trainer that says, I work with 25-year-old Canadian guys who are skinny skateboarders and I help them get into better shape, you're gonna think, holy shit, this is for me. What are the odds? What are the chances? And the chances of if you ever gonna get a personal trainer is that you're gonna go with that guy because he clearly knows you well and he knows how to work with people like you and he knows how to get results for people like you. And it also is a huge advantage for the personal trainer if the personal trainer always works with the same type of clientele. Of course, it's gonna learn really fast of what things need to be done for people like these to actually get results. So that applies to your business as well. Choose who you want to work with. If you do B2B lead generation, there's a bunch of different industries. Once again, in the free guide, you can see all the different industries that there are. But let's say you want to build websites. You can, okay, I'm going to work with IT companies, I'm going to work with insurance companies, I'm going to work with accounting companies, I'm going to work whatever. So just go through that, look at some industries. If you have any experience in the industries, that helps you out a lot. But just pick and don't stress about it too much because that is a huge obstacle that a lot of beginners run into. Then, when you have picked your skill, gotten good at it and decided who you want to sell, step 4 is going to be outreach. So getting your first clients. And once again, this is a step that beginners like to really overcomplicate, but it's actually not that hard. Pretty much the whole idea is that you just go out and you find these people who you want to sell to and you show your service to them. Like a lot of people, they just really fixate on their website and their logo and all of these things. Doesn't matter at all. The only thing you need to do is find the people who you want to sell to and ask if they want to buy from you. It is as simple as that. So you can do cold calls, you can do cold emails, you can do social media messages, you can go to your network, you can go knock on office doors, whatever. Super simple. Once again, let's say you want to sell lead generation services to accounting companies, you just go on Google, you find all the accounting companies and you just start calling them or sending them an email. Hey John, we help accounting companies get more leads on performance-based pricing. Do you want to see how this works? And then when they say, yes, I want to see how it works, you book a video call with them, a Zoom meeting with them, and in the Zoom meeting you just explain how everything works. And usually on average, 2 out of 10 companies are gonna buy. 20% closing rate is really good. So you just do that. And the more outreach you do, the more companies you reach out to, the more clients you're gonna get and faster you're gonna get to your financial goal. Then we go into step number 5. And step number 5 is once again super simple, and it is getting your first client, getting your first paid project. First time when you're getting paid for this skill. Getting your first website done, doing your first lead generation campaign, doing your first ever whatever, sales gig. And pretty much why this is important is we need proof of concept. And a lot of times, after you have worked with a client for the first time, that experience makes you like 5 times better because you actually see how it works in the real life. Usually, you don't make crazy amounts of money on the first campaign or the first project because you're not extremely confident, you are still you feel a bit of imposter syndrome, whatever it might be, but the first client is gonna be a huge milestone because it's gonna tie straight into step number 6, which is getting your first case study. Pretty much what a case study is, it is just some kind of proof that you have actually worked with someone and they have gotten good results. Usually what I recommend doing is after you have delivered someone good results, you have delivered their website, you've generated them some leads, you've done some sales for them, you've done some software for them, you go and you hop on a meeting with them and you record the meeting and you ask them some questions. Okay, John, how was it to work with us? What kind of results did you get? Why did you decide to choose us, etc. So you just pretty much record a raw interview with the person who you worked with and they're gonna tell how they liked your service. And then you will use this interview and this proof of your competency to show it to similar companies. So let's say you run a B2B lead generation agency and you do it for accounting companies. You get your first client that's an accounting company and you start generating them leads. After 2 months, you've gotten them 20 leads, they have gotten some new clients and they're super happy. You hop on a call with your accounting client and you ask them some questions and you record the questions. And the accounting client says, yeah, this guy got us 20 new leads and we are super happy and we have gotten new clients, a really good investment. Then you just take this interview and you go show it to other accounting companies. Hey Mark, I just worked with John at accounting company X, Y, and Z. This is what he said about us. We got him 20 new leads in 2 months and they got 3 new clients and they're super happy. Do you want me to do the same thing for you? Boom! And then you just repeat, rinse and repeat. You get new clients, you film these interviews, you keep increasing your prices because your demand is going to be higher because people see that you're an actual expert. And that is really the only thing you have to do to get to $5,000 to $10,000 a month level. Last step of this process is also fairly predictable, and it is scale. So pretty much how you scale is exactly what I just described. You get more clients, you start doing more outreach, you increase your price a lot, and then usually after you cross the $10,000 to $15,000 a month mark, you only also start to get a bit busy. So you start bringing in virtual assistant or small team members or better software or consulting, whatever it might be. So you start taking a small piece of the profits and investing into the business. Of course, if your goal is just to make $5,000 a month in profit and just do that, you can just do that. You don't have to scale it higher. But for most people, usually when they start, get the bite of the first money from their business, they usually get really ambitious and they want to just scale it to the moon, which is in my opinion great. So you just pretty much take small pieces of the profit, you build some automations, you hire some teammates so the business takes less energy from you to run, and then you can either try to grow it really, really big, or you can automate it so you don't really have to do much. Just take some sales calls or whatever it might be. These are the steps. As long as you just pick your skill, follow these steps, use the guide in the description, for you to get to $5,000 to $10,000 a month, it's not a huge stretch. So I hope you enjoyed, go through the steps, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Boom.